Hello everyone, my name is Pukar Dhital. I'm an English instructor for Grade 7 and today we're going through the chapter The Endangered Species. So let's begin the class.
Now, conversation practice. Now, using the words certainly, how we use these words, certainly, definitely, probably, or definitely not. Okay? Like for instance, I'll certainly pass in first division. That guarantees that, okay, I'm going to pass in first division at all cost. It is definitely going to rain today. Again, this talks about certainty, the first two words. Okay, then we could talk about your father has probably reached home by now. It's an assumption that maybe by this time, maybe perhaps 6 p.m., your father must have reached home, or your father has probably reached home by now. Assumption that he's likely to reach home by 6 p.m. Okay, now again, this talks about certainty. Is definitely not coming to my birthday party. All right, again, this talks about certainty. Now here we learn to use words certainly, definitely, probably, or definitely not. All right, and here are questions asked. So we'll just write it down. In what way can we use certainly, definitely, probably, or definitely not? Okay, so when will Dilal's father return from the office? When will Dilal's father return from the office? And to answer that, A, when will Dilal's father return from the office? When, number A, when will Dilal's father return from the office? Remember, we are using here certainly, definitely, probably, or definitely not. All right. So here the best use would be Dilal's father will return from the office probably by 6 p.m. So let's write it down. Dilal's father will return from the office probably by 6 p.m. Okay, now we look at number B. What will he bring with him? What will he bring with him? Now, to which you're going to write, he will definitely bring some books with him. He will definitely bring some books with him. See, we've used here probably, we've used here definitely. All right, let's move further. Now, number C. Will it rain today? So you can write it will definitely rain today, or you can also write it will definitely not rain today. Okay. Now, number D. What will your results be like in the next test? So what will your results be like in the next test? My results will certainly be better in the next test. See? And number E. Will Nepal develop in the next 5 years? Will Nepal develop in the next 5 years? And again, you can have your answer to this. You can also say Nepal will definitely not develop in the next 5 years. Okay, so this also you can do it in your classroom. All right, you can provide certainly, definitely, probably, or definitely not answers to this question. All right, or before you start doing it, you can also discuss with your friends and come up with a concrete answer. Okay, let's move further. Now, let's again read this passage. All right, now the following is a simple piece of writing to describe an animal. So the passage that follows describes an animal. Okay, choose any of the endangered animal and write a few paragraphs describing it. So maybe you need to do a bit of research about any of the endangered animals and write few paragraphs describing the animal. Okay, so let's read how this passage goes. Let's read how this passage goes. A dog is man's best friend. It may have some truth, but dogs are not the only animal people enjoy with. For many people, a cat is their best friend. So now from the very first sentence, we've now understood that, okay, the passage is now talking about cat. In the first place, people enjoy the company of cats. Many cats are affectionate. They will ask to be petted or scratched under the chin. Who can resist a purring cat? Cats generally look happy and playful when they feel safe and being loved. If irritated, they go bonkers. They love to chase balls and feathers or just about anything dangling from a string. See, cats are very playful. They especially enjoy playing when their owners are participating in the game. Cats can also be trained. Using rewards and punishments, Just like with a dog, a cat can be trained to avoid unwanted behavior or perform tricks. Lastly, one of the most attractive features of cats as house pet is their ease of care. Cats do not have to be walked. They get plenty of exercise in the house as they play and do their business in the litter box. Cleaning a little box is a quick, painless procedure. Cats also take care of their own grooming. Bathing a cat is almost never necessary because under ordinary circumstances, cats clean themselves. Cats are more particular about personal cleanliness than most people are. See, cats are a very healthy animal. In addition, cats can be left home alone for a few hours without fear. Unlike some pets, most cats will not destroy the furnishings when left alone. They are content to go about their usual activities until owners return. People who have small living quarters or less time for pet care should appreciate these characteristics of cats. However, many people who have plenty of space and time still opt to have a cat because they love the cat personality. In many ways, cats are the ideal house pet. So this passage here describes why cat can be a very good house pet. And the writer here has given his reason. Right? It's more like persuasive writing where he's trying to convince you that you know why cats are good, and he gives his reason why cats are good to be a house pet. So in Nepalese culture, we don't quite consider cat. We somehow hesitate to keep cat as a pet. But see, it's not so. Cats, like dogs, are equally friendly, equally playful. Perhaps they need our attention. Perhaps we can now think of keeping cats as a pet. A very playful animal they are. Now, of course, now that you've read this, all right, let's talk about some of the homeworks now. So these are the homework, all right. First, what you can do is, number one, choose any of the endangered animal and write a few paragraphs describing it. So here you might need to do some research. First of all, you have to choose any specific endangered animal that has been listed endangered by the government of Nepal. And then write few paragraphs about it. And to write about that animal, of course, you need to do some research on that animal. So use internet perhaps, or maybe other sources like magazines, newspaper, to research about that animal and write few paragraphs describing it. All right. So it could be more like a descriptive writing where you are talking vividly, where you are giving vivid description about the animal. Okay. So maybe you can take a time for this. Maybe you can take 2 or 3 days time to research about any endangered animal, and then research enough and then write some wonderful paragraphs describing the animal. Just like the paragraphs I just read to you about cat. And number 2, write the names of 10 wild animals that are on the endangered list. Then say, using appropriate expressions, when these animals may be extinct. When these animals may be extinct. Now here you go. Write the names of 10 wild animals. First of all, write down 10 wild animals that are on the endangered list. Again, all right, wild animals are all those animals which are in the endangered list. Then say, using appropriate expressions. Now, appropriate expressions when these animals may be extinct. Now you're just giving an assumption, but using appropriate expressions, when do you think these endangered 10 wild animals might get extinct? So I'm going to do few, like how you are going to begin it, like how we use appropriate expressions. Like for instance, you can say, I reckon. Now here, I reckon can be understood as appropriate expressions, okay? I reckon tigers might get extinct in the next 150 years. See, I reckon tigers might get extinct in the next 150 years. So there are many appropriate expressions. So you can use some expressions just like, all right, I'm going to help you with some expressions here. Expressions. Okay. So here you can think of, I strongly believe, or it could be, I fear. I would say, personally, I think, or it could be, if you ask me, the way I see it, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I am concerned, or I am utterly convinced that, okay, or you can also write, if you don't mind me saying, if you don't mind me saying. So see, there are all expressions. There are many expressions that you can use. Like for instance, I strongly believe that the Asian elephant will get extinct in the next 100 years. Oh, I fear Asian elephant might get extinct in next 50 years. I would say snow leopard might get extinct in next 25 years. Personally, I think crocodile or alligators might get extinct in the next 200 years. If you ask me, I would say rhinoceros might get extinct in the next 8 years. The way I see it, Asian elephants are likely to get extinct in the next 200 years. So this is how you can use all these expressions, all right? And it will be, your writing looks very impressive when you use these expressions, all right? So this also you can do it as your homework. Now moving further. Now this is more like a group work where you can do it together, okay? Draw a poster with pictures of all endangered animals mentioned in the passage and display on the notice board. Display. Now here, you know what? You just figure out all the endangered animals listed in the passage above and draw a poster with pictures of all endangered animals. So you got to research and figure out the pictures of all these endangered animals, all right? And you're going to make a poster, all right, with pictures. Now you have a poster here, let's say, and here you have the picture of an endangered animal here in the poster. All right, here's the picture. All right, and then write about the animals, write a paragraph about the animal, what this animal is, what is the animal's name, write a paragraph about it, and then you can then hang it, all right, on the notice board or display it on the notice board. So again, to bring out the picture and write something about the picture, write about the animal, you might want to research, which you can take a time. Perhaps you can take a day or two to research about the animals, all right? Or maybe you can make it a group work. Divide among group who is going to look after which animal and then write something about it and then post it, make a poster of it like this and then paste a picture, write something about the animal, a paragraph or introduction about the animal and why it's listed in the endangered list and then paste it on the notice board, all right? So it could be a group work. Divide which animals you're going to take. Okay, so that way you will be dividing your work. It could be a group work, all right? So a wonderful display to be displayed in the classroom, of course. So thank you very much. And if you have any queries, please feel free to email us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.